All right, everybody, welcome to the new Lead the Field coaching program, your monthly Q&A. Thank you for your patience. We had a few technical challenges and we are back and ready in action. So I want to welcome you, Bob. Thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for being on, and thank you for your patience, and let's get started. All right.
Can you pull the questions up on the screen?
Yes. All right. Can you see the screen? Okay. This first question is from Jose, and he has two questions. The first one is, what can I do to improve my intuition?
Well, intuition is a tricky thing to do. Anybody can do it. Hold on, see if I can get this up on the screen. The best way, when you're dealing with anyone, when you're talking or you're communicating with someone, you've got to give undivided attention. And most people don't do that. Most people, if they're talking to someone, they're thinking of themselves or they're thinking of something else. Their focus is not on the person that they're talking to. When you bring all of your conscious attention on the person you're talking to, you give them your undivided attention, you will start to feel their energy. If you're with someone, maybe a loved one, and their mood shifts, like something bothers them, you will feel the mood shift. You say, what's wrong? You just sense it. Well, that's your intuition picking that up. The more you focus on another person, the more you start to get in touch with the energy, because there's energy coming from them, and it's your intuitive factor that picks it up and reads it. Now, it takes a lot of practice, but if you're with someone and you think they're thinking something, ask them. Or you might be in a restaurant and you're thinking of what to order, and they order what you're thinking of. They pick up your energy. Be aware that that's thought transference. And this is going on all the time. It's just that most people are not aware of what they're doing. And so, they're not gaining the benefit of what they're doing. But the real trick of it is to really pay attention to the other person. Give all your attention to them, and you will start to feel their energy. That's what your intuition picks up, vibration. And if you keep doing it, you may find, well, I'm doing this and it isn't working. Well, it's working. It's just that you're not working it. And you got to keep doing it and keep doing it until you get good at it. Not many people are good at it. We all do it to a degree and just not sure what it is we're doing. But that's what it is. It's a mental faculty that tunes in to the energy or the vibrations around you. And whatever you think controls the vibration you're in. So you tune in on their frequency and you'll start to pick it up. Now, I've developed a pretty keen ability of it, but I've been working on it for a long time. And I automatically do it. If I'm working with you, you're going to get all my energy. All my focus is going to be on you. But I've trained myself to do that. And you can too. Okay? Next one.
Could you explain the concept of I am who I think you think I am?
Okay. The concept was, I am not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Now, when you think of anyone and you're wondering what they think of you, it's what I think you think of me. That's who I am. Now think what I'm saying. I'm not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am, but I am who I think you think I am. And if people do that, they'll find that their image isn't as good as they want it to be, and they want to improve it. They want to see them self in a good place in other people's mind. Now, to do that, you're going to keep working at improving yourself. So go through it one more time. And you've got to play with this for a while to really grasp the meaning of it. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. But I am who I think you think I am. See, who you think I am, and then me wondering and thinking that this is what you think. Your thoughts are probably totally different than mine. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. You want to play with that for a while, and it'll fall into place in your mind. Next.
Thank you. This is from Rigoberto. The first question is, how can I be of great service to your organization?
Refer people to us.
Do you want to speak about our affiliate program?
Well, become an affiliate. Become an affiliate. You can not only help us, you can help yourself at the same time. Then you can have people sign up for programs. If you send, just send an email to...
They can send it to support@proctorgallagher.com, and we can send you more information about the affiliate program.
Send an email to support@proctorgallagher.com and say that you would like to become an affiliate of our programs. And you can. Okay?
Beautiful. The next one is, I've been coming to seminars for the past 2 years and spent thousands of dollars and nothing has changed. Why?
What did you just say? Listen to what you're saying. Nothing has changed. You don't expect anything to change. Now, I would suggest if you've been studying this for a few years, something has changed. But maybe nothing dramatic. But you cannot study this without something changing. Your awareness is shifting. You're becoming aware of things you weren't aware of before. Now, listen to this very carefully. This is the key to everything. This is advice that Andrew Carnegie gave to Napoleon Hill. Any idea that is held in the mind, that's emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Now, let's look at that again. Any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, it's either feared or revered. So it could be a bad idea or a good idea. Bad ideas will manifest just the same as good ideas. When you say nothing changes, you're giving a direction to your subjective mind. Don't let anything change. Keep me where I am. That's really what's happening. That's your self-talk. That's you affirming to yourself what you don't want. You've got to get involved in an affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful now that everything in my life is improving in every way, every day. And keep repeating that. And you're going to look for the things improving. He said, any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. If you plant a seed in the ground and you fertilize the ground and water the ground, you know the seed's going to grow. Well, an idea is a seed in the mind, and it grows by exactly the same law. Earl Nightingale put it very well. He said, you can plant corn, a sweet food, not a 1/16 of an inch away, plant nightshade, a deadly poison. One will grow with just as great an abundance as the other. That's the same with the ideas in your mind. If you want something to manifest in your life, understand you hold the idea, you keep thinking the idea, and you keep repeating the idea. That idea must move into form. That's one of the first laws of the universe. It's called the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy moves into form, through form, and back into form. I was looking at all the trees on my property here, and they're beautiful leaves coming out. Wasn't too long ago, there was no leaves there. The trees were bare. I'm sort of fascinated with just how fast it all changed. That's how life will change. Give me the next one.
All right, this next question is from Sherry. What is the most effective way to work on yourself when you are around others who don't have the same goals?
Well, you have to understand they don't, and you have to understand they may not understand you. They just might not understand you. And you keep working on it. And if somebody's involved in negative ideas, you don't get involved in them. You hear them, but you don't let yourself get emotionally involved. You may say a quiet prayer for them. You've got to focus. When Kennedy asked Dr. Wernher von Braun, President Kennedy, what it would take to build a rocket that would carry a person to the moon and bring him back safely to Earth, Dr. von Braun said, the will to do it. Well, that's all you have to do to stay positive in any kind of an environment, is the will to stay that way. The will gives you the ability to focus, to concentrate. And you want to concentrate on good stuff happening to you. Expect good stuff. See, it's repetition. I was doing a video here today for somebody, for a company, and I was pointing out that when you get involved in this, when I first got involved, I became so fascinated with the information. I was listening to Earl Nightingale. I'd never heard anybody talk like him. I came from an environment that was very ordinary and more often than not pretty negative. People focused on what they didn't want and what they didn't have. And it was very natural because that's the way everybody was thinking where I grew up. And I started to listen to this, and the information, it's never stopped fascinating me. That was 57 years ago, and I'm still fascinated with it. It is so good, and it makes you feel so good, puts you in such a great vibration. You start, and you turn this into a habit, and you can be in a very negative environment. You won't go there. That's the beautiful part of this. Okay?
Beautiful, thank you. From Paul, my face constantly gets red and I blush when I speak to anyone. I look and I feel guilty and responsible for events happening around me, which I didn't do, and it's making me avoid situations. Any advice on how I can overcome this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You got to get into the Winner's Image program. It's a video. It's an old one. Made it a long time ago. But you can. I want you to send it to him. Okay? And send him the Winner's Image video. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, watch this every day. Watch it every day. It's your self-image. You feel you've got some kind of an inferior image of yourself and wondering what people think of you. You're going to change that. You're God's highest form of creation. There's something so fascinating about you that you could study you all your life and you're only going to touch on it. I used to be the way you are. I used to be that way. Now you may say, oh, I don't believe that. Well, you don't have to, but that's the way I was. In fact, I had done very well with this. I had built a business. I was earning over $1 million a year. I didn't know how I had done it. And so I started to study one day. I thought, how did this happen to me? No education, no formal education, no business. Well, I started to study. It took me 9.5 years. And once I learned it, all I wanted to do was teach it. But I was shy and quiet. And I wouldn't even ask a question if there was a few people around. I watched Bill Gove speaking. Bill Gove is one of the greatest speakers in the world. And I thought, oh, if I could only do what he's doing. And then something clicked in my mind. If he can do it, I can do it. Now, I didn't really think I would ever be able to do what he was doing. And oddly enough, I became great friends. I didn't even know him. He was just a speaker, and a great speaker. I was standing in the back of the ballroom at the O'Hare Hyatt Hotel. This is many, many years ago. It was in the 60s. And I made up my mind I wasn't only going to learn to do what he was doing, I was going to get him to teach me. And he did. And what he taught me, I don't speak anything like him if I'm speaking to an audience. He taught me, he said, he made a recording one time, his son's name was Bill. And he said, Billy, be yourself. And that was the theme of the recording. And that's all I had to do, just be myself. And that's what he taught me. And I'm comfortable in any environment now. And you can get that way. Buy the book, Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics. It's by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, M-A-L-T-Z. Psycho-Cybernetics was considered one of the greatest breakthroughs of the generation. Now, he wrote that in 1960. It's an incredible book, and it's all about self-image. You see, you're looking at a false idea about yourself. If you start looking at truth about yourself, you're going to be dazzled. My goodness, you've got so much power, and you just take your blood. Just think of the blood in your body, and think of this. The blood circulating through your body, through hundreds of miles of passageway, every 33 seconds. And it carries all the food in and all the garbage out, whoosh, in one sweeping change. You know how the email goes? Whoosh. Well, that's where your blood goes. Every 33 seconds. When you think of the central nervous system in your body, the electrical system, do you know it would make the electrical system in a supercomputer look like an absolute toy? And we're talking about you. Stop and think what happens when you see things, how your sight works. You'll probably go to your grave and never know how your sight works because that's not what you study. It's not your expertise. But you'll be dazzled by the fact you can see colors and things. How touch works. Say you walk into your house and it's dark and you're feeling your way in the house and you can see where you're going by the feel of your hand touching the wall and you're looking for the light switch. And just by touching things, you know where you are. Pictures register in your mind. This is you that we're talking about. See, as you start studying psycho-cybernetics, you're going to gain a better image of yourself, and then you won't go red in front of people. And you won't start thinking silly thoughts. You're going to start thinking great thoughts. Now, clearly understand this isn't going to happen overnight. You never got that way overnight, so you're not going to change it overnight. You say, I'm going to change it just as sure as it's going to get dark. I'm going to change this. I'm going to get very comfortable with me in any setting. And I'm not going to blush. And I'm not going to feel embarrassed. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be a real confident human being. Psycho-cybernetics. Buy it. Don't ever stop reading it. Treat it like I treat thinking into results, think and grow rich. Next one there.
I love that, Bob. Okay, this is from Shimon. The first question is, what is the difference between mind, spirit, soul, and God?
That is a good question. Well, let's understand this. Let's start with God. I don't care what religion you study. There's one God. Just one. Not one, not two. Not one in Afghanistan, another one in Toronto. There's one God. And that one God is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. He is all-knowing and is all-powerful. Therefore, all the knowledge and all the power is evenly present in all places at the same time. We refer to this as God. God is all. Now, we are created in God's image. We made an error somewhere along the line, and everybody followed the person that made the error. We turned it around, and we created God in our image, and then we're trying to figure out how can the man be everywhere at the same time? Well, the physical is not going to be, but the physical is connected to the non-physical because everything is an expression of the same thing. And just keep thinking. You are an individualized expression of God. You're not God. You're an expression of God. You are created in God's image. Now you asked, well, what is God's responsibility? What's God's job? God's job is to create. God is the creator. You were given creative faculties, and you should be using them if you're going to do God's work. And I believe we're here to do God's work. God's work is creation, so you got to create. You have a mind. Mind is neither created nor destroyed. It's everywhere evenly present at the same time. Mind, spirit, subconscious, universal mind, it's all the same thing. And it operates one way. Just use different names to explain it in different situations, putting it in different contexts. There is one power, one mind. Okay? The mind can never be damaged. When you hear that there's mental retardation, somebody's on the wrong track. That's not possible. The mind is perfect. If there's a problem in somebody's life and we call it mental retardation, what's really the problem is there's probably brain damage. But if we clearly understand, we have an abundance of healthy cells that we could educate to do what the damaged cells can no longer do. And when we really understand that, we start making headway in that area. When people used to have a stroke and they would lose their limb, maybe their right arm and their right leg, because they had a lack of blood go to the left hemisphere of their head, they were left like that, until they died. Today, we understand patterning. If we take and we move the person's hand, open and close it, lift the arm up and down, move the leg, and keep doing it over and over and over, we send a signal to healthy cells in the brain, and they learn how. You educate them, and pretty soon those healthy cells then take over, and the person has the use of their limbs back. See, all things are possible. What we've got to understand, all the terms that you're mentioning, all same thing. The soul, you are a soul. You don't have one. You are one. And the soul is forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with God. You are one with God. You're just not aware of it. Now, when you take a look at a person's results, they tell you how aware they are of their oneness with God. Great results, they probably got a pretty good awareness. But it's a long way from perfect. Because if it was perfect, they'd walk on water. They could do anything. And we don't know how to do just anything yet. We're doing pretty good. We're making headway. All you have to do is look at the growth over the past 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 years. Our life is so different. Here's the answer to your question. Next question.
When I set my intention and focus on what I want to create, and if it involves other people, doesn't that violate the rights of others?
Wait, read that again.
When I set my intention and focus on what I want to create, and if it involves other people, doesn't that violate the right of others?
Yeah, if you're involved in them. Is this Celine on the line?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's suppose I start concentrating on getting Celine to do something. I don't have any right to do that. I'm playing with her mind. And she might not even know it. Could I do that? Absolutely, I could do that. That's called manipulation. And you can get very good at it. But I'm going to tell you something. If you're manipulating someone, the universe is going to manipulate you because it'll all come back. Now, you may want something done. You don't have to focus on a specific person. Hold the image in your mind. See it being done. Just don't put a face on the person. You will attract whatever you need. If it's a person, a thing, whatever. If it's money, doesn't matter what it is. You see it being done, and you have no doubt in your mind that it's going to happen. You study this program long enough. I've been studying this program longer probably than you've been living. I've been studying it since, I don't know, it's 1962. This is the most comprehensive program you'll ever get your hands on. It's phenomenal. Just keep studying it. And don't limit what you get done with any one person. Just see it getting done. Know it's getting done. Know the help is on its way. And it will be. You see, when you hold an image, it will manifest through the form that's most convenient form available. That's what Carnegie said. Any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself to the most convenient and appropriate form available. The person will be there. The person that's on that frequency, they'll be attracted to you. You know, I sat in a den in a house on Maplewood Lane in Glenview, Illinois, a long time ago. I took a pen and I wrote on a piece of paper that I would have a company that operated all over the world teaching this. I had no idea how I was going to do that. None. I was alone. It was just me. I had my family there, but they weren't going to do it with me. I was doing it. We have probably 60 people who work right in the company. We have probably, I don't know, 1,500 consultants worldwide work with us. We have affiliates around the world working with us. As a result, last time we were in Los Angeles, we streamed the seminar into 113 different countries. Now, where did all these people come from? I didn't know most of the people that work in the company. I didn't know them at all. They didn't know me. I didn't know any of these consultants, and they didn't know me. Where did they come from? They came from wherever they were because I built this image, and the image is moving into form, and it's still attracting people. We're going to have 100,000 consultants because this is going worldwide. It's already worldwide. Now we're getting in depth, and we're going to make it bigger. I just have to hold the idea. and Spirit will manifest it with and through me. I don't wonder if that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. The same as I know it's going to get dark tonight. It gets dark by law. The law of rhythm makes sure the tide goes out, the tide comes in. The day follows the night, the night follows the day. That's what you got to know. Okay?
All right. This next question is from Devin. Excuse me. How can I find a mentor to teach me a new skill without paying thousands of dollars? I know there's a way, I'm just not aware of it yet.
Well, find out what it is. You stop and think of what it is you want to learn, and then start doing some research and find somebody in your area. And that's really good, and go and ask them if they'd mentor you. Make an appointment, take them to lunch. And say, like, let's suppose Celine's the expert, and I tell you, I say, you know, Celine, I'd like to go and have lunch with you. You don't know me. My name is Bob Proctor, but I'd like to take you to lunch. And name a place where you would meet her for lunch, a very public place. And then sit down and say, Celine, I've done a lot of research on you. You are really good at what you do. And you know you are, and so does a lot of other people. I want to learn what you're doing. Would you mentor me? Now, it might only consist of a phone call once a week or twice a week. But I would like you to give me some direction, tell me exactly what to do, and I'll do it. And you could watch me change. If you go and ask somebody, most people will do that. But why would you be afraid of spending thousands of dollars? I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop me. You see, I think the time and money we spend on ourselves is the wisest investment in the world. You can do it another way. Do what I just suggested to you. Give me another one.
I tend to be reserved while I'm learning about something new. Then once I'm a little comfortable with it, then I take off like a rocket and do amazing. Sometimes it takes a while. How might I speed this up?
Well, just make up your mind you're going to speed it up. Develop what we call a sense of urgency. You want to write this down. I'm going to tell you what a sense of urgency is. A sense of urgency is getting a lot done in a short period of time in a calm, confident manner. There's no rush. There's no great big bang going off. A sense of urgency is the ability to get a lot done in a short period of time in a calm, confident manner. Make up your mind you're going to do that. Now, you just described to me what your personality was like, but then you went ahead and said, but I'd like to do this. Well, then start to describe it as if that's what you're doing now. You start repeating what you want in the present tense. See, what you did was describe the results that you're seeing now. You let what's going on in the past control what you're thinking about who you are. But say, I want to do it different. Well, then how do you want to do it different? Well, you could say, I want to develop a sense of urgency. That's how you do it. You write down, I am so happy and grateful now that I get a lot done in a short period of time, and I do it in a calm, confident manner. And that's how you start seeing yourself. The next one.
This next one is from Lucy. I'm repeating the Lead the Field program for a second time, and I'm presently on lesson 7. I'm very committed to the program. I do it during my coffee hour and take copious notes, but I can't seem to move forward into action towards my goals. Any suggestions?
Well, if you just listen to what you said, you're studying the program to move ahead, and you're repeating things that hold you where you are and take you backwards. If you're going through it the second time, that's good. I've probably gone through it a few thousand times. See, the beautiful part about this, when we understand, we hear with our ears, we listen with our emotions. A good part of the time when we're involved in the program, we hear it, but we don't really listen. You really got to let it sink in. Now, if you really listen, you have to go through the same message over and over and over again before you get emotionally involved with every idea in it. So the truth is you never finish it. There's no finish line with this. But start to repeat And first of all, if you've been through this, you're going through it a second time. You've had some things happen that are positive because of this, and you're just not giving attention to them. I want you to sit and really think of what you were like before you started to study this, and then what you're like now. And there may not be dramatic changes, but there's been changes. And so you start harvesting the good. You start looking for the good. And sometimes we aren't quick enough to recognize good things we do or are. And start looking for this really, it's improved. There's a few things that have improved. And they may not be huge, but they're improvements. And if you look through a window of time, like maybe a year or 2 years, you'll start to see some big changes have taken place. And that's what you want to do with it. And by the way, if you're going through it twice, God bless you, because you're on the right track. You are. Most people think, well, I've already listened to it, because that's the way school taught us. If you could repeat, if you could answer the questions right, you win. Well, that's not it at all. You don't ever stop studying this. Ever. No, that's a long time. I've never started. I started in 1961, and I'm still studying it. I'm working with a young guy here, Scott Edwards. He's over from Manchester, England. He's working in the studio, and real bright young guy. He's in his early 20s. And he got listening to The Secret when he was 13, and all kinds of wonderful things have happened to him since he listened to that. Now he's 23, 24. And one day I was talking to him. He studied me as much as anybody. He was telling me things about himself I'd forgotten about because he watched so much of my material. But anyway, I got thinking about it, and I thought, I'm talking about 1961 to him. This is 2018. I wonder what that sounds like. So mentally, I went till I was 24. And I looked back 57 years. It would have taken me back to 2001. When I was 24, some of you have been talking to me about 2001. I would say, what the heck? What are you talking about? That's dead by now. It's so long ago. You got to get things in the proper context. You got to get you in the proper context. Usually you keep studying this, you cannot help but change. Now the change might not be too big yet, but there's things that you've changed. Look at them and keep studying. And then maybe 57 years from now, you're going to talk to somebody and you say, something, the guy told me to never stop studying this. I'm still studying it. Because the guy that I met 57 years ago told me that he's don't ever stop studying it. And I never have.
All right. Next one is from Rose. He asks, what type of results should we expect while and after completing this program?
Say it again.
What type of results should we expect while and after completing this program?
Oh, that would be up to yourself. You decide the result. See, that's a beautiful part of the program. I always say that all the little creatures on the planet are completely at home in their environment because they blend in. They blend in with their environment. I have a lot of little squirrels around here, and they'll be on the train. I won't even see it, and I look, and all of a sudden it's sitting there. It's right in front of me before, but it blends in, you see. You and I are the only creature on the planet that's totally disoriented in our environment, and that is because we've been given the creative faculties to create our own environment. Now, that being the case, what kind of an environment do we want? Where do we want to live? What do we want to work at? What kind of people do we want to associate with? What do we want to wear? What kind of vacations do we want to go on? We can take a pen, sit down and write that all out, and then go and do it. I always say, tell me what you want, and I'll show you how to get it. There's a man in Los Angeles. His name is Phil Goldfine. He was talking to another man named Ed Morrissey. Remember, about 16 years ago, he was in Los Angeles. And Phil was reading the book I wrote, You Were Born Rich. And he got talking to Ed about it. And he says, this is really a different kind of book. And Ed says, I know the guy that wrote it. He's a friend of mine. And Phil said, get out of here. You don't know him. He said, I do know him. He said, phone him. I guess he called him on it. So anyway, I'll phone him. So he phoned me. And I answered the phone. He said, Bob, there's a guy here reading your book. He'd like to talk to you. So I got on the phone with him, and he said, where are you? And I said, I'm in Las Vegas right now. He said, could I come and see you? I said, yeah, if you want. I said, I'm in Los Angeles. He says, I won't be long. He said, give me your phone number. I'll phone you as soon as I land. So anyway, a couple hours or so later, here I am sitting down with him. And I said, well, he said, how can you help me? I said, well, I don't know. What do you want? He's earning more money. I said, I can show you how to earn more money. I said, what are you earning now? He said, a couple of $100,000 a year. I said, what do you want here? And he said, I want to earn millions. And I said, I can show you how to do that. Is that all you want? No, he said, I want to win an Oscar. I'm a producer. I said, I can show you how to do that. I want to win an Emmy. I said, I can show you how to do that. Now, you see, here's things from millions to Oscars to Emmys. And I said, I can show you how to do it. Well, it would have sounded crazy, but the truth is, it doesn't matter what you get. You've got to follow the same path. You got to follow the same laws. So it wouldn't matter what he told me. I could show him how to get it because I'm going to show him how to get in harmony with the laws. Now, here we are 16 years later. He phoned us one day, and again, we were doing a seminar in Las Vegas. He phoned Gina, my assistant, and he said, can I come over and take you to the dinner? And Gina said, we're like, check. So she checked with me and said, sure, tell him to come on over. So anyway, he and I are good friends. He said, I just wanted to tell you what happened to me over the past 16 years. We were in the steakhouse at the Bellagio Hotel. I can still see us sitting there. He had a stack of gold cards, and he started to go through them one at a time, telling us what happened. Now, this guy earns millions. He is one of the busiest movie producers in Los Angeles today. He probably makes more movies than any other producer in LA. He earns millions of dollars. He's earned up to $1 million in a couple of days. He won an Oscar. He was in a seminar in Los Angeles. He'd been nominated for an Oscar, but he hadn't won it yet. I had him stand up on a chair in the seminar in front of a few hundred people and give his acceptance speech for the Oscar that they were going to present to him when they said who won the Oscars. He's got the Emmy. He's got the Oscar. It's all done by law. Everything happens the same way. So when you say, what can I expect? I would say, what do you want? Now, it takes courage to sit down and put what you want, because what you want, what you really want, right in your heart, you probably don't know how to get it. If you do know how to get it, it won't be much of a goal, because you'll be going sideways. You see, the purpose of a goal is to get you to grow. You got to go where you've never been. It doesn't matter that you don't know how to get there. The point is, you know you're going to get there. Now, I just told you we're going to have 100,000 consultants in the world in this company. I don't know how it's going to happen, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. So what can you expect? It's what do you want? What do you really want? That's what you can expect, and that's what you do. But you schedule.
Bob, there's some background noise. It just went away, but I just want to make sure. Okay. So then the next question from Rose is, can you explain how this program is different than TIR?
Well, I think there's TIR. First of all, let's talk about how it was made. TIR is a phenomenal program, no question about it. Sandy Gallagher was a very, very successful securities attorney, a banking lawyer, and one of the best in the country. She graduated from university, the top banking lawyer student in all universities. So, I mean, she'd come into the business with a lot of the gray matter working. She had a very successful practice for close to 20 years. She would be in a boardroom, she was telling me, trying to bring two CEOs of different banks, get them to agree that we're going to merge their banks. And she said, at times, it was pathetic. Here's these super serious executives just couldn't agree. And when she was in the seminar, and this happened often apparently, she was in the seminar, the first seminar, and she started thinking, if they had this information, Well, then she became so fascinated. She bought everything we had. She became a consultant, and she couldn't stop studying. And she thought, if they had a program that they would understand. So she had studied enough of our material. She outlined everything, and she came to me and she wanted to make a program. But she must have presented it the right way, so I agreed. And the program was made. She would sit and interview me, ask me questions, and I would answer the question. And that was how our lesson went. And what she did, she asked questions that would take an executive from A to B to C to D. And it was like a path she was taking them on. Now, it was made for corporate executives. That's originally. But what we found was they were taking it home and their kids were using it in school. And their spouse was using it in a totally different business or maybe to go into a business. So it was a great program, and it's a great program used in many areas. The Lead the Field probably has more information. It's more comprehensive. It requires a lot more serious study over a long period of time. Earl Nightingale wrote the first Lead the Field back in 1961. In 1961, there wasn't a lot of talk about spirit around business. We didn't talk about the laws of the universe. Man hadn't even thought of going to the moon at that time. Somebody dreamt about it maybe, but, you know, Earl was wise. He made it and he hid all the laws in it. So you got to find them. I studied it for years, and I saw the wisdom in what he did. He's got all the laws hidden in here. And so I decided I was going to teach it. And so I got, with the blessings of the Nightingale Conant Corporation, Vic Conant, and we did it together. We used all of Earl's material, verbatim, every word that was in the original. And then I went ahead and I explained how this worked and why it worked. And he starts off by saying that our attitude is our various indicating thoughts, feelings, or actions. Well, I break that into 3 parts. You'll know right in the start. I said, you're a triune being. You live on 3 levels of understanding. You have your thinking mind, that's your intellect. You have your spiritual, your emotional mind, and then you have the physical. Well, the attitude is the expression of all 3 levels, the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions. And I started to break it down and teach it. So there's a lot more information, and generic, it can be used by anyone. It's probably got a lot more information. I love it because I've used it for so long. But it takes nothing away from the thinking into results. I could show you how thinking into results is how you would graduate to it after studying this, or I could give you good logic on why, if you've studied thinking into results, now you should study this. Because they mirror each other in many respects, but they hit you from a different perspective. That's my explanation of the difference. What's more questions?
All right. Anne asks, how do I move ahead faster in my business? Is it by focus, positive thinking and affirmations, or just by doing more activity? Is planning and practicing the skills help?
Well, you can do more by making up your mind you're going to do more. And you might spend 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes every morning, early in the morning, or any time through the day. Walk into the same time, though. And your objective is, how can I do more in a shorter period of time with less effort? Now, I fly a lot. And I fly a lot by myself, nobody else on the plane. And so I love this time. In fact, last Sunday I flew from Toronto to Portland, Oregon in the morning, and I flew back later in the day. I had 8 hours in the air all by myself. I loved it. I think of, when I'm in the air, how I can do more in a shorter time with less effort. I'm thinking that all the time. If you take a half hour and you may write nothing down the first week that you do this, but you sit there and your objective is, I want to figure out how to do more in a shorter period of time. Now think of this. There are people alive today that probably are doing 10 times what you're doing, insofar as results are concerned, like 10 times more effective than you, and they don't work anywhere near as hard as you. I know there's people a lot more effective than me. I know there are. I don't know too many of them, but I do know there are. How do they do it? You see, they're working with the same mind. We work with the same clock. We have the same 24 hours in a day. So we've got to think, one of the things is delegation. You learn how to delegate. I was having dinner with my son last night, and I was telling him, he should have an assistant. He doesn't have one. I said, you're going to find that if you have an assistant, you're going to compound your effectiveness. Learn how to delegate. Get people you can delegate stuff to. I don't do anything that I can hire somebody to do. And you can say, well, you can afford to do that. Yeah, I can now, but I didn't at one time. One of the first things I did was hire someone to help me. And I went a little short on money myself, so I could pay them. How can you do more in a shorter period of time with less effort? You will figure it out. Spend a half hour every day. See, I'm going to do that every day for the next 60 days. And I'm going to take a pad that has 60 pages in it and number them. And then put that pad somewhere, carry it with you, take it, put it somewhere, but every day at a specific time. Treat it like you've got an appointment with a dentist or a doctor, a lawyer or somebody, and you want to make sure you keep your appointment. A half hour every day, and whatever comes to your mind, write down on the page. Now, if you've got 6 pages, nothing at the moment, that's okay. Leave those 6 pages blank. On the 7th page, you may get a flow of information. You get involved in that exercise, I guarantee you're going to do more in a shorter period of time. You're going to do it with less effort. And that is the secret of how to move ahead in life. One of the great secrets. Now, we have blown the hour, but we started late. We started 10 minutes late. So I have had my next appointment. I've told them I'm going to be 10 minutes late for it. I want to keep going for another 10 minutes if you've got the questions there, Celine.
I do, Bob. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the time as well. Thank you. Okay, so Sonia asks, based on my previous thoughts and beliefs, something negative may be in the process of being manifested. How do I cancel those negative things now that I'm having the opposite thought and beliefs?
Well, first of all, don't expect it to happen. But if it does happen, and it probably will, I have negative things happen. Everybody does. So it's how you relate to them. It's your perception of them. There's a great lesson I learned from Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. When anything happens, now you probably heard me say this, but if you haven't, write it down for goodness sake. When anything happens, doesn't matter what it is what it is, accept it. It's either going to control you or you're going to control it. When anything happens, this is the first step. Just look at it. Say, it is what it is, accept it. It's either going to control you or you're going to control it. I'm not going to let it control me, so I accept it. The second step, once you accepted this and there's something negative, harvest the good. There's something good in it. I love the word harvest. I think of a farmer with his harvest. Harvest the good. You look for the good. There's good in everything. You couldn't have all bad. There's nothing that's all bad. You'll say, he's all bad. It's all bad. No, 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 no. The law of polarity says everything is an opposite. You can't have an up without a down, hot without a cold, or a good without a bad. There's something good in it. What is the good? Now, the good may be, because I'm doing this, I'm strengthening me. You don't strengthen yourself from your wins. You strengthen yourself from your losses, from the mistakes, and you handle them properly. Harvest the good. And the third step, forgive all the rest. Let it go. That's how I handle any negative. No matter what it is. And I have them happen to me. I have them happen to me just the same as everybody else does. I just don't let them control me. That's the difference. When I first started to study this, the negative would control me, maybe for a long time. I would find myself in sort of a down mood, and not only often, but I'd stay there a long time. Now, I very rarely go there, and when I go there, a minute or two, baby, I'm gone. I don't want to stay there. I know what it does to you. It is what it is, accept it. It'll either control you or you'll control it. Number 2, the good. Number 3, forgive all the rest. Forgive means to let go of, completely abandon. Next question there, Stace.
All right. So Carrie asks, I allow my kids and husband to throw my vibration daily, throw off my vibration daily, and it's a real struggle at times not to get angry and let things go. What can I do to handle this?
Well, you start off by saying that you're in control. I'm so happy and grateful now that regardless of what anyone around me does, says, I am going to feel good. I will stay and am staying in a good vibration. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. So you write that out. Actually write it out on a piece of paper. I am so happy and grateful now that regardless of what's going on around me, I stay in a positive vibration. I feel good. Write that out in a piece of paper, put it in your pocket, carry it around with you. Now, when they start to knock you off track and you start to feel yourself going to a bad vibration, wander away by yourself. You could go to the bathroom, sit in the toilet, lock the door, and keep repeating that. Go where nobody's going to bother you and say, I am so happy and grateful now that I am in a positive vibration and I feel good. I am so happy and grateful now that regardless of what's happening around me, I stay in a positive vibration and I feel good. Now you keep doing that, and I guarantee you, when you find yourself move into a negative one, and I do, you could knock me into a negative vibration, probably without too much trouble, but you won't keep me there for more than a few seconds. I think, well, I know what I was doing, I stop it. And you can too, and you can get very good at it. Expect the best, you'll get it. Next one there, Stacey.
Lawanda says, on MLMs, please give me 3 types that would be a good fit for a rural area with a population of 10,000.
A good one, wasn't it?
She says, on MLMs, please give me 3 types. And she's probably thinking companies or products that would be a good fit for a rural area with a population of 10,000.
Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter if there's 10 or 100 or 200,000. People are people. You know, I was saying this morning, I've worked all over. I've worked in Shanghai and Kosovo and Buenos Aires and Kuala Lumpur, Kota Kinabalu, New York, Miami, Toronto, Montreal. Once you get past culture, people are exactly the same. We're all spiritual beings. We are a soul. And the soul is seeking its awareness of its oneness with that which is, with God. We all want to do better. Every one of those 10,000 people, there's something about them, they want to grow. They want to grow. And they can grow. And they will grow. Now, what you want to do is find out what they want and show them how to get it. And you don't think that the people, the 10,000 people that live there are any different than 10,000 people that may be walking down Fifth Avenue in New York. We're all the same. Now there's customs that's different, language that's different, landscape that's different, but people are essentially the same. They all want something they haven't got. Find out what it is and show them how to get it. There you go. Next one.
Love that. Okay, this next question is from Salma. Her first one is, what can I do to become an early riser? It seems I can't wake up early in the morning. What do you suggest?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. And I'll tell you what happens to people. They want to get up early. I'm an early riser. You know, I'm usually awake 4:30. I'll frequently be in my studio shortly after 5. Now, I wasn't always like that, but I am now. And I have been for a long time. I love early morning. You get so much done. But anyway, person says, I'm going to start getting up an hour earlier. And just before they go to sleep, they think, but I can't. The subconscious mind is like the army. It always follows the last command. If you're in the army, the last command, that's the one you follow. That's the way the subconscious mind works. So we tell ourselves, I'm going to get up early, but just before we go to sleep, we think, but I can't. Now start off with the alarm clock. And put it away from the bed. Maybe get 2 or 3 of the things. And get them all rattling. And then operate with this premise. When I wake up, I get up. When I wake up, I get up. When I wake up, I get up. The second I wake up, my feet hit the deck. I'm out of bed. When I wake up, I keep repeating that. I don't say that in some years. When I wake up, I get up. I do not lay there and hug the pillow. Don't lay there. I get up. When I wake up, I start repeating that. And start repeating, I'm so happy and grateful now that I get up early. And start thinking of what you can do with that hour. I remember, just as I'm saying that, gosh, I'm going way back to the 70s now. I was doing a seminar with the Prudential. And this one guy, he said, you said get up an hour earlier. I've been getting up. My wife's been getting up with me. And we're sitting in the kitchen, and we were wondering, what are we going to do with this hour? And he said, we were wondering that for a week or two. We just sit there. And he said, then we realized we were talking. He said, we realized we hadn't been talking for a while. I'd get up and I'd rush off to work. She'd get up and she'd rush off to work. We'd come home and we were rushing. We quit communicating effectively. We weren't talking to each other. He said, this is the best hour of the day. We talk to each other. That was right. Now, that story, that just flashed in my mind as I'm telling you this. But you just give yourself a command, and you start to see yourself getting up early and start to think you can do something with that hour. When I wake up, I get up. The second I open my eyes, my feet hit the deck. When I wake up, I get up. I'm so happy and grateful now that I get up at a certain time. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. People don't need anywhere near as much sleep as they believe they do. What they need is more rest. When they lay down, they want to drop themselves into a deep, restful sleep. Most people are tossing and turning all night. My God, you would think there were 6 people sleeping in the bed, and when you wake up in the morning, and there's only one person, and the covers are all over the damn place. They weren't resting at all. They were busy. They were working all night. Put your mind into a relaxed state, drop into a deep, restful sleep. We got one more question.
All right. The next question is, how can I build a strong self-esteem? Can you suggest daily exercise?
Yes. Keep repeating it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a healthy respect for myself. I like myself, and I am improving in every way with everything I do every day. Write it out, no negatives, present tense, and keep repeating it. The idea must move to and through you. This isn't rocket science. Our challenge is to keep doing it and saying it over and over and over again. And it's the repetition that fixes the idea in the subconscious mind. When it's fixed, then it's automatically expressed. See, I don't have any trouble with any of this. I'm just on this frequency all the time. Some of you say, well, God, don't you get tired? Yeah, sometimes. So's everybody. But I'm staying up all the time. I don't go down. And when I go down staying, I'm right back up again. I don't want to stay there. Now, you know that this makes sense, and you can do it. Celine, we haven't been on a call like this before. I want everybody to know that the ladies on this call, Celine, is really something special. She really is. You know, I've never told you this, but I think you are one of the most valuable people we have in the company. I hear nothing but good things about you.
Thank you.
We don't communicate very often. I probably should have taken the time to do this before now. But you've got a very good reputation in our company. I hope you know that. Well, you really do. And I want the audience to know that. Now, this isn't Celine's regular responsibility. She is doing this today for someone. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing this with you. But I'm going to tell you, the folks online, I watched this woman grow. First of all, she came to seminar and then she worked with us. And everyone I've ever heard that you've worked with, they all talk about how much they enjoy working with you and how you are. I'm not doing this to flatter you. I'm just giving you the straight goods.
Thank you. I mean, it's a pleasure to be on with you on the call. I'm always learning. This is everyone else on this call. Bob, it is a pleasure and a delight, and it's an honor to be working closer with you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone. Now, since you are on Lead the Field and you are a client, we've got good news for you. I'm going to be doing Q&As on a regular basis for everyone studying Lead the Field. And I'm going to be sending out a videotape to everyone that's studying Lead the Field. It'll be a special videotape, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes every month. And it will be on something I'm studying. It may not pertain to any of the lessons in there, and then again it might. It might be an expansion of some lesson. But every month, beginning in June, you're going to be receiving a video. Not going to cost you anything. We're just going to do that. Because I love teaching this, and I love people to keep learning it. And I want you to keep studying. Don't ever stop studying. You never finish it. There's no finish line with personal growth. So every month, we're going to be doing a Q&A like this. And every month, I'm going to be sending everyone that's in the Lead the Field program, you're going to get a special video. It'll be a different one. And you can start saving these. You can make a little library out of these. It starts in June 2018, and that's not far away. Celine, thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for coming on. It's a profit and a pleasure, and I'll talk to you all next time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye, Bob. Bye, everyone.